What if I told you that a flower, a simple flower, rooted in the ground, unable to think, unable to speak, unable to make a single conscious decision, understands a secret to a healthy, energized, deeply fulfilling life, better than most human beings alive today? Not a philosopher with decades of wisdom, not a scientist with a laboratory full of answers, not a therapist, a guru, or a self-help book with 1 million copies sold. A sunflower, a plant that cannot move from its spot, a plant that has no brain, no nervous system, no alarm clock, no calendar. And yet, it has mastered something that millions of people spend their entire lives desperately searching for. It has mastered the art of alignment. And today, if you stay with me, I'm going to show you exactly what that means. And more importantly, I'm going to show you how it could quietly, genuinely change the way you live, the way you sleep, the way you feel, and the way you show up in your own life. You probably felt it before. That strange, hollow tiredness that sleep doesn't fix. You know the one. You close your eyes for 8 hours, and you wake up feeling like you never rested at all. Like your body went to bed, but your mind kept running through the night, restless, churning, unable to truly let go. You felt that mid-afternoon crash. That wall you hit around 2 or 3 o'clock, where your thoughts go foggy and no amount of coffee seems to pull you back to the surface. You felt the restlessness at midnight. That exhausting irony. Tired all day, but the moment your head hits the pillow, your mind switches on. Thoughts arriving like uninvited guests. Worries surfacing. Mental noise that simply refuses to quiet. And maybe, on some level, you've started to believe that this is just how life is. That this is just how you are. But I want you to hear this clearly. You are not broken. You are not lazy. You are not fundamentally flawed or permanently exhausted. You are simply out of sync with a rhythm so ancient, so deeply embedded in your biology, so perfectly designed for your well-being, that when you lose it, everything suffers. Your mood, your focus, your creativity, your relationships, your physical health, your sense of purpose and joy. And somewhere, right now, in a field bathed in early morning gold, reaching toward the rising sun with quiet, effortless certainty, a sunflower has been living the answer all along. Before we go any further, I want to tell you something about sunflowers that most people never learn. Something that, once you understand it, will completely change the way you look at these flowers and the way you look at yourself. Young sunflowers, during their growing phase, do something almost miraculous. They track the sun, from the moment it rises in the east at dawn to the moment it sets in the west at dusk. Every single day, with extraordinary biological precision. Scientists call this heliotropism, from the Greek words helios, meaning sun, and tropo, meaning turning. But that word doesn't capture it. It sounds too clinical, too small for what is actually happening. What these flowers are doing is not merely turning toward a light source. What they're doing is something far more profound, far more intelligent than that simple description suggests. They are living in complete, perfect alignment with time itself. They're not just following the sun. They are participating in a relationship with it. A daily, faithful, committed relationship. Showing up every single morning, positioned and ready, fulfilling their role in a rhythm that has existed for millions of years. And here is the specific, extraordinary detail that I need you to sit with. The sunflower doesn't do this because something told it to. It does it because deep inside its biology, woven into the very fabric of its cells, there's a clock. A natural, internal clock that is perfectly synchronized with the Earth's rhythm. With the rising and the setting. With the light and the dark. With the turning of the planet itself. Sound familiar? Because you have one too. Sitting inside every cell of your body is a biological clock of breathtaking complexity. A clock that governs your energy, your mood, your hunger, your immunity, your creativity, your healing, your sleep, and your waking. A clock that knows, with profound, ancient certainty, exactly what your body needs and exactly when it needs it. The question is not whether you have this clock. The question is, when did you stop listening to it? And what has that silence been costing you? Let me take you back to a laboratory at Stanford University. Researchers are watching something on their screens that stops them. They are observing a sunflower in a time-lapse study, and what they see is remarkable. Every morning, before the sun even rises, before a single ray of light has touched the horizon, the sunflower has already begun to turn east. Before the light arrives, it anticipates the dawn. This plant, with no eyes, no brain, knows the sun is coming. It doesn't wait to see the light and then react. It prepares in the darkness. It repositions itself through the night, slowly and silently, so that the moment the first light appears, it is already open, already aligned, already perfectly positioned to receive it. The sunflower doesn't react to the morning. It is ready for the morning. There's a difference, and that difference is everything. Now compare that to how most of us begin our days. The alarm fires like a small explosion. We reach, before we are even fully conscious, for our phones. And before our eyes have adjusted, before our nervous system has made its gentle transition from sleep to waking, we are already consuming, already reacting. Emails, news, social media, other people's urgency flooding our minds before we've had a single quiet moment to simply arrive. We stumble into our mornings. We're dragged into them by obligations and notifications. We have forgotten how to anticipate. We have forgotten how to prepare. We have forgotten how to turn east in the darkness, to position ourselves quietly and intentionally so that when the light comes, we are ready to receive it. This is what scientists call circadian rhythm disruption, and it is not a minor inconvenience. It is a profound, systemic, biological crisis, silently reshaping the health, happiness, and potential of an entire generation. So let's talk about what your circadian rhythm actually is. Because this word gets used often, but very few people truly understand what it means, what it does, and why it matters so deeply. Your circadian rhythm is your body's internal 24-hour biological clock. Not one clock, but a vast, interconnected network of clocks. There's a master clock in your brain, a tiny but extraordinary region called the suprachiasmatic nucleus. And then there are clocks running in nearly every organ and tissue in your body. Your liver has a clock. Your heart has a clock. Your skin, your lungs, your kidneys, all running on their own internal time, all coordinated by the master clock, all designed to work together in a symphony of biological timing. This system governs almost everything that happens inside you. When you feel alert and when you feel drowsy. When your immune system is strongest and when it is most vulnerable. When your memory consolidates. When your cells repair and regenerate. When creativity flows and when the mind needs rest. It is not a suggestion. It is not a preference. It is biology, refined over hundreds of thousands of years of human evolution, designed with one purpose: to keep you alive, healthy, and thriving by synchronizing your internal world with the natural world around you. And the primary signal, the master cue that sets and resets this entire system, is light. Natural light. The blue spectrum light of a morning sky that tells your brain the day has begun. And the fading, warm, amber light of evening that signals rest is coming. Begin the transition. Your body reads light the way a musician reads sheet music. It is the language your biology was written in. And for most of human history, we spoke that language fluently. We woke with the dawn. We wound down with the darkness. We slept under stars. Our bodies and the earth were in constant, daily conversation, a rhythmic exchange that kept us grounded, healthy, and whole. Then, we invented the light bulb, and everything changed. Our biology did not evolve in 150 years. It cannot adapt at the speed of technology. Inside your body right now is a system that is still, fundamentally, living in a world where the sun sets and darkness falls, and rest is not optional, but deeply, biologically necessary. And when we override that system, night after night, year after year, we pay a price. Think about what happens inside your body when you live out of alignment with your natural rhythm. Imagine your body as a sunflower placed in a room with artificial lights that never change. No sonrisa, no sunset, just constant, unvarying, artificial brightness. At first, the sunflower still tries to turn, still tries to find a rhythm, still reaches for a cycle it knows should be there. But gradually, without the natural cues it was designed to receive, the system begins to falter. Things happen at the wrong moment. Energy is released when rest is needed. Rest is demanded when action is required. The whole beautiful symphony falls out of tune. This is what circadian disruption does to you. When you sleep with your phone glowing beside you, it's blue light telling your brain it's still midday. Your body cannot produce the melatonin it needs to initiate deep, restorative sleep. Your brain doesn't move through the sleep cycles that consolidate memory, process emotion, and repair the physical body. You lie there, technically asleep, but not truly resting. When you wake groggy and reach immediately for caffeine, before your body has completed its natural cortisol awakening response, you interrupt a process designed to wake you beautifully and sustainably. You replace a biological process with a chemical shortcut. And later, when the caffeine fades, you crash because the biology never got to do its work. The research is not subtle. Scientists have linked chronic circadian disruption to significantly increased rates of anxiety and depression, to cognitive decline, to metabolic dysfunction and weight gain, to cardiovascular disease, to weakened immune response, to higher rates of certain cancers. We're not talking about feeling a little tired. We're talking about the slow, quiet, systematic erosion of human health and human potential, happening invisibly in the background of lives that appear perfectly normal from the outside. We are living in biological darkness, while surrounded by more artificial light than any generation in human history. And somewhere in a field, faithful, quiet, perfectly aligned, the sunflower is still turning, still trusting the rhythm, still doing what it has always done. Now I want to return to that extraordinary detail, the one that I believe contains one of the most important lessons any of us can learn. The sunflower turns east before the sun rises. Through the night, while the world is dark and still, it is not fixed in place. It is moving, slowly, imperceptibly, continuously, turning its face back toward the east, back toward the coming light, preparing itself in the darkness for a dawn it cannot yet see but absolutely knows is coming. This is not metaphor. This is literal, documented, biological fact. And I want you to sit with the emotional weight of that. How many of your dark seasons have you spent convinced that the light was never coming? How many difficult nights, lying awake, heart heavy, mind churning, have you spent believing the darkness was permanent? The sunflower never believes that. In its darkness, it is already turning toward what it knows is true, already moving, preparing, trusting, not because it can see the light, but because its entire being is built on the certain knowledge that the light will return. What would it mean for you to live with that kind of trust? Not blind optimism, not denial of difficulty, but a deep, rooted, biological certainty that rest is not defeat, that stillness is not stagnation, that your dark seasons are not the end of your story. They're the preparation for your next turning toward the light. Your body already knows this. When you sleep, truly, deeply sleep, your body is doing exactly what the sunflower does in the night. Repairing, rebuilding, consolidating, processing the day, and preparing you, cell by cell, for the morning that is coming. Your darkness is not empty. Your rest is not wasted. Your stillness is not weakness. It is the most important work your body ever does. So what does this actually look like in practice? Because understanding is beautiful, but transformation requires more than understanding. It requires action. Small, consistent, gentle action taken in alignment with how you were actually designed to live. And the beautiful thing is this. The changes that reconnect you to your natural rhythm are not dramatic or complicated or expensive. They require you not to add something foreign to your life. They require you to return to something ancient that was always yours. It starts with light. Specifically, it starts with the first light of your morning. Researchers at Harvard Medical School found that exposure to natural outdoor light within the first hour of waking is one of the most powerful things you can do to anchor your circadian system. When natural light enters your eyes in the morning, the blue spectrum light of the open sky, it sends a clear signal to your master clock that the day has begun. It initiates the cortisol awakening response, that natural, healthy surge that makes you feel alert and alive. It sets a biological timer so that 14 to 16 hours later, your body begins producing melatonin naturally at the right time and the right amount. One signal, one simple act. The sunflower doesn't need anything else. It just turns toward the light and everything follows. Go outside within the first 30 to 60 minutes of waking. Stand in natural light for even 5 to 10 minutes. No sunglasses, no phone, no agenda. Just you and the sky and the ancient conversation your body has been waiting to have. This single habit, practiced consistently, can begin transforming your energy, mood, sleep quality, and mental clarity within days. Not weeks, days. Because your body is not broken. It simply needs the right signal. And then there is the other end of the day, the evening, the transition that is equally important. Watch what happens in a sunflower field as the day ends. As the sun descends toward the western horizon, as the light shifts from white and blue to amber and deep orange, the sunflowers follow it west. And then, as darkness falls, they begin their slow, faithful turning back toward the east. The transition is not abrupt. It is gradual. It is gentle. It honors the change. Your body wants to make the same transition. As light fades in the evening, your brain is designed to increase melatonin production. Your core temperature is designed to drop. Your nervous system is designed to shift slowly, gracefully, from the state of activity and alertness into the state of rest and restoration. This transition is sacred. It is biological, and it is profoundly disrupted by the way most of us spend our evenings. Bright overhead lights flooding your space with the equivalent of midday sun. Screens emitting blue light directly into your eyes at 10, 11, midnight, telling your brain, "It is still day, stay alert, do not sleep." Stimulating content keeping your nervous system elevated long after it needed to begin winding down. And then we lie in the dark and wonder why sleep won't come. Because the signal never arrived. Because we never gave our bodies permission to begin the transition. The practices that honor your evening are simple and ancient. Dim your lights as evening progresses. Use warm, amber-toned lighting after sunset. Candles, warm bulbs. Light that mimics the fire human beings have gathered around at day's end for hundreds of thousands of years. Reduce screen exposure in the final hour before sleep. Cool your sleeping space. Establish a consistent wind-down ritual. And go to sleep at roughly the same time each night. Wake at roughly the same time each morning, even on weekends. Consistency is the foundation of circadian health. Your body clock thrives on predictability. The sunflower doesn't take weekends off from the sun. I want to share one final piece of research, one that I find deeply moving and that brings everything together. Scientists conducted an experiment where they grew sunflowers in a fully controlled laboratory environment. Constant temperature, constant humidity, and critically, constant artificial light. No sonrisa simulación, no sunset, no variación whatsoever. Just steady, unvarying brightness around the clock. And they watched what happened. The sunflowers still tried to move. Even without any external cue, without a single signal from the natural world, the sunflowers still attempted to track a rhythm. Their stems still tried to turn. Their internal clocks still fired, still searched, still reached for a cycle that their biology knew should exist, even when the world around them gave them nothing. They were following a ghost sun, a sun that existed only in their cells. And I think that is us. I think that is exactly, precisely, heartbreakingly us. We're those sunflowers, living under constant artificial light, digital light, the relentless brightness of a culture that never truly goes dark, with our internal clocks still firing, still searching, still reaching for a rhythm we can feel in our bones but can no longer find in our world. Still tired in ways we can't explain. Still restless in ways we can't fix. Still hungry, not for more content or more stimulation, but for something deeper, something older, something we have almost forgotten the name of. Still turning. Even now, toward a dawn we've forgotten how to see. You are not a machine. I know the world treats you like one. I know the culture you live in measures your worth in productivity, output, and performance. I know you have been trained, perhaps from a very young age, to believe that rest is laziness, that stillness is wasted time, that slowing down is falling behind. But you are not a machine. You are a biological creature of extraordinary complexity and beauty, built from the same ancient materials as the trees, the soil, the sunflowers, and the stars, shaped by the same forces, governed by the same rhythms that govern the tides, the seasons, the blooming of flowers, the migration of birds. You are not separate from nature. You are nature, and nature does not thrive through constant output and relentless stimulation. Nature thrives through rhythm, through cycles, through the faithful alternation of action and rest, light and dark, growth and stillness. The sunflower doesn't fight the darkness. It uses it. It doesn't resist the seasons. It moves with them. It doesn't question the rhythm. It trusts it. And in that trust, in that quiet, rooted, unwavering alignment, it becomes something extraordinary. Tall, strong, luminous, facing the light with its whole being, open, unafraid, fully alive. That is available to you, not through perfection, not through discipline so fierce it becomes punishment, but through small, gentle, daily acts of returning, of listening, of paying attention to the signals your body has been sending all along, and choosing, one day at a time, to honor them. Go to sleep when you're tired. Wake with the light when you can. Step outside in the morning and let the sky speak to your cells. Wind down as the evening falls. Rest without guilt. Move with your seasons, not against them. Return to the rhythm, again and again and again, because every morning is another chance. Every sunrise is another invitation. Every dawn is your body whispering to you, gently, faithfully, without judgment, turn east. The light is coming. Be ready. The sunflower never misses that invitation, and neither should you. If something in what I've shared today resonated with you, if it named something you've been feeling but couldn't quite articulate, if it gave language to an exhaustion or a longing or a sense of being somehow disconnected from yourself, then I want you to know you are not alone in that feeling. Millions of people are living out of rhythm right now. Millions of people are those sunflowers under artificial light, still turning, still searching, still reaching for something they can't quite name. And the fact that you are here, listening, paying attention, that matters. That is itself a kind of turning east. Here at the Plant Mind, this is what we explore. The deep, beautiful, often surprising connections between the natural world and the human mind, between the wisdom encoded in plants and seasons, and the wisdom that lives inside you, between ancient biological truth and the very real challenges of modern life. We believe that nature is not just a place you visit on weekends. It is the language your body speaks. And learning to listen to it can change not just how you sleep, but how you live, how you feel, and how you show up for the life you're building. If that's the kind of conversation you want to keep having, we'd love to have it with you. The subscribe button is here whenever you're ready. No pressure, just an open door. And if someone in your life is running on empty, if someone you care about is exhausted in that deep, unnamed way, share this with them. Plant a seed, because that's how it works. That's how it has always worked. One seed, one ray of light, one small, faithful turning toward the dawn. Take care of yourself. Rest deeply. And tomorrow morning, before the coffee, before the phone, before the demands of the day, step outside. Even just for a moment. Let the light find you. You were made for it.